Hi everybody, my name is Acacia, the creator and owner of Stretch by Acacia, and today we're just going to walk through a little mini training and visualization of the psoas major to be specific, but we are going to touch lightly on the whole complex of the iliopsoas muscles, which are made up of from the psoas minor, major, and iliacus. And these muscles are really important in bringing the leg, flexing the leg, torso flexion, lateral and in the frontal plane, and also bringing the leg above 90 degrees. So let's get right into this. While I'm switching screens here, I just want to make note that I am using Complete Anatomy, which is an amazing anatomy tool to use. Go ahead and download it. It's so worth the money to educate yourself, to educate your students, to just get a better visualization of what's actually happening inside the body. So right now we pulled up the psoas. So the psoas major, the one we're going to focus on the most right now, is attached at T12 and runs all the way down to the slight, I would say, interior but anterior portion of the leg, and we'll see it a bit close up in a second, but it's not even attached completely. Sorry, my screen is, I'm moving around. He's not even attached fully just at the front of the femur. He does run, so he's kind of in the medial side, the inside of that leg is where he attaches. So like I said, it's the iliopsoas complex of muscles is made up of three muscles. The iliopsoas minor, this long skinny one that goes from T12 to the pelvis. The psoas major, which is again the only muscle that attaches the spine to the legs, and the iliacus muscle, which curves the interior portion of the pelvic calves, and again attaches at the femoral head here. So we're going to just focus on the psoas major right now because it's attachment to your back and your legs. And I say back really importantly because that was the tool, that was the cue, those were the visuals that really helped me when developing a relationship that was for a strong, usable, relaxed, calm, flexible, really resistant psoas. So let's just zoom in here and actually see where the attachment points are of this muscle. So when we go into, if we were to look from the front of the body, the psoas would be attaching to all of our lumbar vertebrae, running on the inside of the pelvis, looping around that pubic bone there, and then attaching, like I said, on the inside, almost in line with your sit bones almost, of the femur. Right up there. Can you see that? Let me zoom right on in. There. So again, we're not even attaching at the front where most people think that they think it's attaching right on, you can't really see my finger pointing to it, but I'll zoom in. You're thinking it's going to attach like right there, but it actually goes and wraps a little bit behind, a little bit more interior, posterior. That's what I should say, is the interior, kind of sort of borderline posterior edge of that femur. So I'm going to show it in movement here so you can actually get a sense of what's going on. So we'll start with hip flexion, bringing the knee up. So you can see that it is working to roll that femur head and bring the knee up to 90 and past. Just scan it around so you can see it's contracting as the knee comes up and lengthening as it goes down. So you can really also think about the femur head rolling in the hip socket anti-clockwise as the muscle contracts, bringing the leg up. Now we don't have to curve our spine or contract and curve our trunk in order for this to happen. We can keep nice length in that lumbar spine, contract the muscle, and bring the leg closer to our torso. This muscle is also really important in lateral flexion, so bringing the trunk over to the side. You can see that it contracts, again, to bring it sideways along with various amounts of other muscles here. But the psoas is important too, and this is why when you're stretching or strengthening, you want to also tune into the psoas from the back, from the side, and not just from the front. I know that we go in a lot of times and we massage this muscle, or we try to massage this muscle from the front. But if we just allow this muscle to expand behind us, to allow it to lengthen from the bottom part of our ribs all the way down to our legs, and really feel that space, the length of that whole muscle happen, it's going to help us kind of get rid of any unnecessary tension so that this muscle and the fascia connection around it and the tissues around it can really be used to their most potential. And one more that we'll look at is trunk flexion, so bringing your body forward in space, it also contracts. And this is why we get tight psoas, is because oftentimes we're in a contracted state, we're hunched over, we're even fearing something, so we're just kind of in that protective zone. We're not only bringing the femurs closer, we're bending the hips when we're sitting in chairs, but then we're probably slouched over. This muscle is consistently in a contracted position, so we really want to work to lengthen it and strengthen it when needed. And we really do want both. We want strength, we want that resistance, we want that flexibility, we want to be able to lengthen it. Because we do spend so much time, most likely, in a contracted state, we really want to be able to lengthen it and be able to have the strength when needed for all of the exercises or activities that we're going to get up to. So again, I just want you to see this beautiful muscle of yours, this muscle that is so close to your spine, extends to your legs, is responsible to attaching legs to spine, and is also very connected to your diaphragm. As you can see, your diaphragm just quickly is very close to your psoas. They do also sit in the same fascial deep front net. So when one isn't happy, because they're connected through connective tissue, the other one might not be happy. And that's why in the blog I talk about the emotional standpoint, because it's so close to that nervous system, it being close to the spine, all the connective tissue that it connects with other deep core trunk muscles, such as your diaphragm and whatnot. So again, it attaches from your spine, from your back, and all the way down interior of the pelvis, and then attaches at the medial, so the inside of the leg, and slightly posterior, where that little notch is right there. Really awesome. I hope that helps you visualize your psoas when you're stretching and strengthening it. I really hope that helps you visualize your psoas so that you can maximize any of your stretches and strength work that you do, so that your psoas is resilient, that your legs are super great, and that your hips can do anything and everything it needs to be able to do, whether that's hiking, not being at pain, sitting at the desk, or even dancing around doing what you got to do. So if you have any questions, let me know below, and I hope you enjoyed this little mini educational moment. Take care.